Picture this, right? You're going about your day, your phone rings, and it's an unknown number. For a lot of us, especially if money's been a bit tight lately, that one simple sound triggers this immediate, massive spike of anxiety. Your stomach just drops because, well, you're thinking it might be a debt collector. It's stressful. It's overwhelming. But what if I told you that you are absolutely not powerless in this situation? Seriously, you actually have a legally mandated shield protecting you from all that harassment and intimidation. And crazy enough, most people don't even know they have it. So, welcome to today's Explainer. I'm your host, and today we're going to completely demystify exactly what rights you hold when a collection agency comes calling.
Here is our game plan for today. First, we'll look at what happens when debt collectors call you. Second, what exactly are Mini-Miranda Rights? Third, we're covering the rules of debt collection. And finally, actionable steps for protecting your consumer rights. Let's get into it. Okay, let's dive right into this. Section 1, when debt collectors call you. We're talking about the anxiety of debt collection, and that shield you probably didn't know you had.
Look, being pursued for an outstanding debt, it is universally stressful. It really feels like you're entirely at the mercy of whoever is on the other end of that line. And that imbalance of power is exactly why understanding this stuff is so absolutely crucial. But here's the foundational truth we're building everything on today. As a consumer, you have rights, even when you owe money. Seriously, let that sink in for a second. Just because you have an outstanding balance, or maybe a late payment, or a defaulted account, that doesn't mean you just suddenly forfeit your legal protections. The law absolutely does not say that debt collectors get to do whatever they want just because a debt is owed. You still have a shield.
Moving right along to Section 2. What are Mini-Miranda Rights? We are unpacking your legally mandated shield.
So, debt collectors? They absolutely cannot just operate in the shadows. What exactly is this shield we keep talking about? Well, the term Mini-Miranda Rights is really just a colloquialism. What it actually refers to is a set of legally mandated statements that a debt collector absolutely must use when they first contact you to collect a debt. Whether they're calling you on the phone, sending you a letter in the mail, or, even showing up in person, they are required by law to recite these statements verbally or outline them crystal clear in written form. They can't just casually start asking you for cash. No way.
And this brilliantly illustrates exactly where the name comes from. I mean, we've all seen those cop shows on TV, right? The police arrest someone and read them their Miranda warning. You have the right to remain silent, the whole shebang. That warning was created to protect suspects from police intimidation. Well, the debt collector Mini-Miranda operates on that exact same principle. But it was specifically designed to safeguard consumers like you and me from abusive, deceitful, or intimidating debt collection practices. It's basically your financial equivalent of being read your rights.
The crucial point here is knowing exactly what they are legally required to tell you. The second that collection agency gets you on the phone, the Mini-Miranda requires the collector to provide 3 very specific pieces of information, like immediately. Number 1, they gotta explicitly state that the call is from a debt collector. Number 2, they must inform you that they are calling to collect a debt. And number 3, they have to warn you that any information obtained during that phone call will be used to achieve that goal. If they try to trick you or pretend they're calling about something totally different just to get you to confirm your identity, yet they are literally breaking the law.
All right, Section 3, the rules of debt collection. We're looking at the strict boundaries established by federal law.
Now, you might be wondering, are these rules new? Not at all. These consumer protections aren't some untested theory. They were actually cemented way back in 1977 with the passing of the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. You'll usually hear it called the FDCPA, or sometimes Regulation F. This federal law explicitly prohibits debt collectors from using harassment, threats, deceit, or intimidation. And the best part? It's continually updated to keep up with the times. For example, in November of 2020, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau actually issued further clarifications on these rules. And those fully went into effect on November 21, 2021. So the law is actively evolving to keep us safe.
Okay, so before a collector can actually start discussing the nitty-gritty details of your debt, they are required to verify they're actually speaking to the right person. Makes sense, right? But here's the catch. They can't just ask you for everything under the sun. They are strictly limited to what is legally permitted. They can ask for your full name, your date of birth, the last 4 digits of your social security number, a past or current address, a recent transaction amount, your phone number, or your account number. That is it. If they start digging for information beyond this list before proving who they are, that is a massive red flag.
Now, what's really interesting here is seeing exactly where the FDCPA draws a hard line in the sand when it comes to a collector's behavior. First up, time of day. It is strictly prohibited for a debt collector to contact you at inconvenient times. We're talking significantly outside of normal business hours, unless, of course, you've made a prior arrangement with them. Second, false names. Look, a heavily indebted person might use a fake name when answering the phone just to avoid collectors. A collector might be tempted to use a fake name right back just to get the person talking. But the FDCPA explicitly prohibits this. No pretenses, no fictitious names, period. And finally, what about your family or your coworkers? Well, if you file a written request to stop them from calling your home or work, they are permitted, but with very strict limits, to call relatives, neighbors, or associates. But they can only ask about locating you, not about the outstanding balance.
Let's hit Section 4, protecting your consumer rights. These are the actionable steps you can take to stop the harassment.
Okay, understanding the rules is great, for sure, but actually enforcing them, that is what brings real peace of mind. So let's pose a super common, incredibly frustrating scenario. What exactly are your options if a debt collector just completely ignores the Mini-Miranda, uses a fake name, or tries some other sneaky, subversive tactic to trick you into paying? What do you actually do in that moment?
Well, here is your exact action plan. Step 1. If you have an attorney handling your debt, tell the debt collector immediately, because once they are informed that you have legal representation, by law, they have to stop contacting you directly. Boom. Step 2. If they're blowing up your phone at work or at home, file a formal written request for them to cease calling those locations. Always put it in writing so you have a solid paper trail. Step 3. If they use a fake name or totally skip that Mini-Miranda warning we talked about, go ahead and file a formal complaint with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. And Step 4, if they just keep persisting and violating the FDCPA, you actually have the right to file a lawsuit against the debt collection company and even the individual collector.
But a quick word of warning here, if you are going to take legal action, please keep this timeline burned into your memory. You have exactly 1 year. That is the strict statute of limitations on this. A suit must be brought against the debt collection company or the individual within 1 year of that specific FDCPA violation. So if you wait, say, 13 months, your window of opportunity to hold them legally accountable is completely closed.
Also, let's be real for a second. Navigating all of this on your own can be incredibly taxing. If you're struggling to repay creditors and just feeling totally overwhelmed by these collection efforts, it's highly recommended that you look into working with professionals. A reputable debt relief company can often step in and help renegotiate or settle some of what you owe for less than the total balance. Plus, hiring a credit counseling agency can be a real game changer to help manage your budget and repair the damage that's been done to your credit score. You really don't have to face this whole shebang alone.
Debt collectors will often go to some truly extraordinary lengths to recover money for their clients, but as we've seen today, they are firmly restricted by the law. So I'm going to leave you with this question to chew on. Knowing your Mini-Miranda rights and knowing the legal shield you actually hold, will you ever let a debt collector cross the line again? The power is entirely in your hands now. If you found this explainer helpful, make sure to open the full version and follow us on Spotify. Literally, 1 click is all it takes to subscribe for more consumer rights updates. Share this explainer with anyone who might need it, and as always, thanks so much for tuning in.